Alright folks, today we're going to mount a scope. It's going to be fairly quick and simple, but I'm going to show you guys the correct way to do it, or at least how I do it. All you're going to need is some rubbing alcohol, the scope rings, some Loctite, a few Q-tips, the scope, of course the gun. Let's get started. Alright, let's open everything up and see what we got. Alright, these are the high scope rings here. This is a 1-inch tube on this loophole, so they're 1-inch scope rings, but they're the high. And the reason I got the high is because this gun right here is a single shot where you pull the hammer back. So if you got a regular mounts, the scope would sit too low on here and you might not be able to get your thumb in between here and the scope. You'll see when I mount it what I'm talking about, so you're going to be glad you get this extra clearance right here on these high rings. Alright. Have the loophole scope here. Alright. Don't really need anything in here, I don't think, till later. So for this gun here, I chose the 4x12x50. I like the 50 millimeter because it get have a bigger field of view. And I'm a little older now, so I got 4x12, so I'm gonna be going to Illinois with this. But anyway, when this thing mounts up here, you want it sitting up pretty high to where, like I said, you can get your finger in between here and the hammer. If you got the regular rings, it would be too low. Okay, the first thing I like to do is take all the screws out. I went ahead and untightened them all so to save us a little time. The reason I'm going to take all these screws out is because I'm going to clean them real good with alcohol. And that way the Loctite will stick to it real good. Otherwise, if you don't, you'll have a greasy, oily film on there and it might not dry good. Alright, we're fixing to take off the side ones too. Now the side screws are a little longer, which we can tell them apart. And that'll be, used to mount it on the track. Alright, we'll repeat the process on the other side. Alright, looking at the parts, they don't look too bad, but this is the reason I do what I do. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this or not, but I'll see if you can. It has a little oil residue in there, so that's why I clean everything with alcohol. So all I do is just put me a little alcohol in here, and then I just take the screws one at a time, and I just kind of twist them in there like that. And it takes a little time to do it, but it's worth it. Gets all the oil off there. And then speeding it up, I'll show you what I do with the Q-tips. You might get right here. Wet the Q-tips like that, and then you can take this right here and then clean them in there like that, both sides. A lot of times it ain't too dirty, but I'd rather be, make sure I get it all out than have it in there, because I have tried to use Loctite before and it don't really seal good. But you can see there's a little bit on here, but not bad. Anyway, I'm going to finish cleaning all this up and we'll get ready for the next step. Okay, the next step, we want to take our bases and mount them on our track bar. Okay? Now these bases, they have a little bar going across the bottom. Now these bars will fit in these little track bars right here. You can put them wherever you want, but I like spacing mine out. You want to pre-fit everything at first to see how it's going to do. Now, off camera, I picked up the gun real carefully and put it up like I was going to shoot it, and this is where it's going to be good for me with my eye relief. Now, I like when I mount my scopes, make everything symmetrical, so right from here to here I make it even, and then that's the way I like it to look. So what we're going to do now is take these off right here and put some Loctite on them, and then remount them on here. And once we get them secure, I'll show you the next step. One thing I wanted to add right quick, this track bar right here has 4 Allen screws in it. And when I bought this gun, I did the same thing. I put some Loctite in each one of the screw threads and tightened them down, and it had plenty of time to dry. So I went ahead and mounted this back base here, and I'm going to show you guys how I did the front one. Okay, so we just put a little drop on here on the threads. You want to do this fairly quick because you don't want it drying on you. Alright, so we're going to mount it right here. Alright, okay, so what I do is I take 2 screws on each one, and I put one in there and vice versa, and I snug them tight. I don't put thread lock on it yet, but once I put them in there pretty snug, I pick the gun up and I make sure my eye relief is good, and then the crosshairs are level like I like it. Now I know I told you a while ago I like to space this evenly, but it didn't work out, so I'm only human. But anyway, I'd rather have my eye relief like I want it than to have this look pretty. So anyway, I position the gun where when I throw up, it's just right for me, for the eye relief and for the scope to be clear and everything. So anyway, when I put them 2 screws in there, we're ready for the next step, which is going to be to go ahead and put Loctite on these, and I'll crisscross them, and once I snug them, then I'll back the other 2 out and then do the same with them, and then we'll seat everything real tight. Kind of hard to stay out of the way and show y'all, but you get the idea. Okay guys, girls, that's going to wrap this video up. The loophole 4x12x50. I think it turned out really good. I think it looks really nice on there. You can see the reason I got the high rings where you have that clearance right here. So you can see my thumb here and cock the hammer back. If you didn't have them high rings, you'd be in trouble. Your finger would be tight in here. It's still not a ton of room, but it works. So anyway, when I throw up, this is where my eye relief is at right here. Just like I like it. Cock the hammer back. You're ready. Alright, I hope everybody enjoyed the video. Hopefully you learned something if you didn't know how to mount a scope. And I appreciate everybody watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel. God bless each and everybody out there. And this is Trinkenell saying so long, everybody, from the Peach State of Georgia.